What's up, everyone? My name is Marie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I am actually building a community lot. I'm building a restaurant in Newcrest. So I have been trying to fill up the world of Newcrest and kind of create my own version of Newcrest for a while now. It's been going pretty well. It's actually been a little bit since I built anything for the world, but I am back in Newcrest today. And like I already mentioned, it's actually going pretty well. So I am planning on building community lots on that little, on that very large like strip of lots. So I want to fill those lots up with community lots so that you kind of have like that strip of community lots. And then I actually basically filled up all of the residential lots, or at least all of the lots that I want to be residential lots. I think there is one lot left in the neighborhood at the top left of the map. I think there is one lot left there. I think it's the biggest one. And I kind of want to make that into a community lot as well, but not so much a very commercial community lot, like maybe like an art center or something like that, or maybe just a park or just a place for teens to hang out or something. Something like that. I'm not quite sure yet. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to fill up this strip of lots with community lots. And this is the first one that I'm doing. So you can kind of see, you can kind of tell that the surrounding lots are still very empty and very sad. So this lot is kind of just randomly placed on its own right here. So it looks really sad. But as soon as I'm done building or filling up all the other lots, I'm sure it will look great and it will look very, well, not realistic because it's The Sims, but I mean just cozy and lively or lively, however you pronounce that word. But yeah, I'm sure that it will look cute eventually, but right now it's just kind of standing on its own. It's really sad. But I really like the quirky shape of this, I was gonna say house, but of this restaurant. So I think I also explained this in my last video, but lately, the other day, I found a whole bunch of cute little miniature houses or images of miniature houses on Pinterest. And I was really, really inspired by those little buildings. Like, they just make for the perfect reference for Sims builds. And so this restaurant is also based or inspired by one of those miniature builds. And I really like the shape of it. It's kind of, yeah, just quirky and different and kind of industrial and modern, but in its own way, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I just really like the shape of it, and I really like how it came out. So the crazy thing is that I have never actually built a restaurant before in The Sims. And I don't know why, because I've had Dine Out for a long time. And I use a lot of the items from Dine Out all the time, especially the little clutter items. I think that is actually one of the main reasons why I bought the pack, which is crazy. I mean, you shouldn't spend a whole lot of money on a Sims pack, mainly for the little clutter items. But that's what I did, which is not the smartest thing, but I'm just a Sims hoarder and I want my Sims collection to be complete. So I bought the pack because I like it, and obviously, but mainly for the little clutter items for kitchens and stuff like that. But I've never actually built a restaurant before, and I don't know why. Usually when I build community lots, I always tend to gravitate towards building cafes because I think cafes are really fun and cute and very useful. Like when I look at my own gameplay, whenever I play the game, which doesn't happen very often, but whenever I do, I use cafes most out of all of the community lots that you can build in The Sims. Like parks and cafes are the two things that I use the most. Definitely. So, and restaurants, I don't really use them too much because sometimes they're just a little bit glitchy for gameplay and stuff. Just a little bit annoying. So whenever I have a Sim go on a date, I'll usually just go to a very casual like cafe or something like that. And that is one of the main reasons why I've never actually built a restaurant in Sims. But for Newcrest, I mean, I want there to be a whole heap of different kinds of community lots. So a restaurant just made sense. I want there to be at least one restaurant for your Sims to go out and have dinner. So that's what I decided to do. And I really like the way that it came out. There is a lot of dining spots. There's a lot of tables and chairs and stuff like that. So there's actually a lot of space for a lot of guests, which is very nice. I don't know anything about running a restaurant in The Sims either. Like I mentioned, I've never done that before. So I don't know if this restaurant would be maybe a little bit too big to run or something, or maybe that is fun. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I didn't really build this restaurant with like owning it in mind. I mean, you could definitely buy it, but it's just not really how I imagined it. I just want it to be a cute community lot, basically. But yeah, you can, as soon as we move on to the furnishing of the restaurant, you can immediately tell that I don't know anything about furnishing restaurants because I literally placed that, what's it called? Like the host station or the hosting station. I think it's called a host station. I'm not sure. But I placed it the wrong way around, literally. I mean, that is so dumb. But I knew that I had to place that down, and I was thinking about it. Like, I just wasn't sure how to place it. I wasn't sure what was the right way to place it. So I just kind of placed it down, and then I decided that of course, I had to playtest the build, so I would just playtest it and I would just turn it around if it was the wrong way around, which is what happened. So I'm a little bit ashamed of that. It's a little bit dumb. But yeah, I playtested it like I mentioned, and when I playtested it, I saw that I needed to change a couple of things around. So the little entryway looks a little bit different because I had to turn around at the host station. And I also just placed a couple more of the waiter stations throughout the building. I placed a couple in the speed build, but when I was playtesting it, I decided to just place down a couple more. I don't know if it makes a difference, but there is a lot of seating in this restaurant, so I don't know if it makes a difference for gameplay, but it just made sense to me to place a couple more of those waiter stations. And I also placed down an extra one of those chef kitchens in the kitchen area, because I only placed down one in the beginning, but then when I was playtesting it, once again, I don't know if this actually affects gameplay, but the restaurant is quite big, so I thought it makes sense to have 2 chefs working in this restaurant. So I don't know, if it makes sense for gameplay, then that is a nice thing. If it doesn't make sense, or if it doesn't make a difference for gameplay, then you just have 2 chefs for no reason. But I just wanted to play it safe, basically, and I just placed down 2 kitchens in the end, but you don't see that in the actual speed build. But if you go ahead and decide to download this restaurant off the gallery, you'll see a couple of slight changes, mainly in the kitchen and in the entryway, and that's about it. So you can definitely tell that I placed down the host station the wrong way around. I wasn't sure if this was the right way to do it. Like, I thought it looked a little bit weird. I thought it didn't really make any sense, but when I was placing it down, I just kind of decided to follow the arrow that the game kind of gives you when you're placing down items, and I just decided to, wherever the arrow was pointing towards, I would use that as the front of the item. But for this item, that didn't work out, so I turned it around in the end. It's really not a big deal, but it was kind of silly. I just kind of laughed at myself because it was just kind of silly. But yeah, I really like the overall vibe of this restaurant. It's nothing too fancy. It's just cozy and very family friendly. Like, you can definitely have your Sims family go out to dinner at this place. It's just a regular diner. I set the menu and stuff to just a regular diner, so you can definitely change that around if you want to. But I just wanted this lot to be family friendly, so you can have your Sims family come here and have dinner together. But you could also use it for like a nice restaurant to go on a date or something. Like, it's not, I mean, it's very casual, but it's not like there's going to be children running around screaming everywhere. Like, it's not like for children, if that makes any sense. Like, you could go here with your family, but you could also go here with your date. It's kind of just regular in that, or just casual in that sense of the word, if that makes any sense. And here you can see that there's definitely a lot of spots to sit at and have dinner at. And then upstairs, there's a couple more seating areas. And then outside on the back porch, there's also some more tables and chairs. And you can see that in front of the lot, like in front of the restaurant, I placed down a whole bunch of picnic tables. And I placed a couple of picnic tables in the back of the lot as well, like on the grass, or no, it's not grass, it's all terrace, I believe. But either way, I placed down a whole bunch of picnic tables in the back and in the front of the lot. And I don't think that picnic tables actually get assigned to you as a dining spot. But I kind of like that about it. Like, I wanted this restaurant to have different seating areas for you to sit at. It also has a bar upstairs on the balcony as well, and there's a couple of couches on the balcony as well. So I just kind of wanted this lot to have more purposes than just have dinner, if that makes sense. Like, you could definitely go here and just have full-on dinner, get a spot assigned to you, and just sit there and have actual dinner. But you could also just go ahead and just buy a couple drinks and a snack at the bar and just hang out at the bar, or hang out with your friends at the picnic tables or at a couch or something like that. So you could also just go ahead and do that. So you don't actually have to get a seat assigned to you and have dinner. Like, you could also just go ahead and use the bar, if that makes sense. I don't know if it works like that for gameplay. I'm pretty sure it does, because when I was playtesting it, the lot did give me a bartender by default, so that was actually really nice. I didn't think that that would happen. I thought that I would have to set it to a different lot type for a bartender to show up, but the bartender showed up, so that was actually really nice. So you can definitely use this lot as a restaurant, but also as a bar. And just, like I already explained, like, grab a snack and something to drink at the bar and go sit somewhere else. If you wanted to do that. So I don't know, I just really like the way that this lot turned out. I always kind of am intimidated in the beginning whenever I am building community lots, because I don't know, I enjoy building community lots, but they're just a little bit intimidating to me sometimes, especially something like this, something that I have never built before, but I really like it. I really like the way that it came out. There's a lot of bigger windows and a lot of cozy spots to sit. You can see that here upstairs I used the higher tables with the bar stools, and then downstairs I used the regular sized tables with regular chairs to sit at. So there is a slight difference between those areas as well. This is a more casual, like, hangout area as well, but you could also sit here and have your dinner. I placed a couple of magazines and stuff, and I made sure to place down a lot of plants also, just to make it look green. And I don't know, I just really like the vibe of this restaurant. And I also made sure that there was more than enough bathrooms as well, so I just created 2 separate bathrooms basically. They are exactly the same, just mirrored. And I used gender-neutral bathroom doors on them because that's just what I like to do. And so yeah, it's definitely very modern, this restaurant, especially when you compare it to the default kind of environment in this world. Like, when you look at the buildings in the background and stuff, this is definitely a little bit less traditional and a little bit more on the modern side of things. But that's kind of what I was going for. Like, I was thinking that this restaurant was just newly built here and just kind of renovating Newcrest in that sense, and they're kind of just took down a couple of older buildings that needed to go and replaced them with more modern buildings like this one. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for in my version of Newcrest, if that makes sense. So yeah, the community lots that I'll be building on the neighboring lots to this one are definitely going to have a similar vibe to them, I think. I am not quite sure yet what exactly I want to build on those lots, but definitely I think like a bowling alley / nightclub or something. And I definitely also want to build a gym, I think, because I've never done that before either, which is crazy. Like I said, whenever I'm building community lots, I usually go for cafes. So I've never built a gym either, and I really want to do that. And then a park, like I mentioned, and an art center and stuff. So yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. But here you can see that on the terrace, like on the back porch, I placed down a couple of regular tables as well. So those do count as dining spots. And I placed an extra waiter station here next to the sliding door, but I'll do that later on. Like I replaced one of the planters with a waiter station. And here you can see I placed down those picnic tables that I was talking about earlier, which do not count as actual dining spots, I don't think, because I was not sure if that would happen. So when I was playtesting this, I was just hanging out at this lot, trying to just kind of see what would happen. And I didn't see any sim get assigned a picnic table. So I don't think that's the thing that happens, but that's actually something that I like about it. So there's just a couple of different spots to hang out for your sims. And yeah, I think that is pretty much already going to be it for this build. I placed down a couple of those terrace heaters or whatever you want to call them. I thought that would make sense. And I placed down an extra trash bin and stuff like that. And then that is already it. So if you want to go ahead and download this build off the gallery, you can definitely do that. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!